And now, if you would, let me introduce you to my world record lake trout. Hey folks, do me a favor, practice CPR, catch, photo, and release. The future of fishing is truly in your hands. There, on your left, you can almost see it. One of the most magnificent sights on the planet, Lake Athabasca, nestled just below the 60th parallel. Lake Athabasca hasn't changed in nearly 1,000 years with its pristine shorelines, pure crystal clear water you can actually drink, and countless fish. Boy, has she got fish that is for everyone willing to travel to Otherside River Lodge. From the magnificent world-class northern pike that prowl these waters to the oldest and biggest lakers on the globe, Athabasca has it all. Otherside River Lodge caters to the true sportsman seeking an all-American plan guided package with 3 incredible meals a day and memories you won't find anywhere else. Records have been broken by guests at Otherside River Lodge in the past. You could be next. Book your dream trip of a lifetime to Otherside River Lodge, where fishing dreams do come true. Call Cliff or Stella toll-free at 1-877-922-0957. Hi everyone, and welcome to the night show. Hey, I got something really cool for you tonight. Before we get too far along in tonight's show, though, there's a couple of things I want to say. We want to take our hats and hearts off to all our folks down in the southern part of the United States that are suffering in enormous ills. When you watch the news, there's just no way your heart can't go out for those people. And I know we've got a lot of fellow fishermen down there, even though they're bass fishermen, and they fish the coastal waters and stuff. These are still great people. They get out, they enjoy the outdoors like we do up here in the North Country. And that being said, I've got something I want to try to do tonight, but I don't really know how to do it, so I'm going to just do it this way. We're going to start a Hurricane Harvey relief fund here at Fish and Sticks. Now, this is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to email me at bob.m@fishandstickstv.com. That's bob.m@fishandstickstv.com. How we set this up, I don't really know, but I've got people around me that'll figure it out. Let's see what we can do in terms of getting a little bit of help from the North Country down to our friends down south. It would mean so much to us from up here, and would mean so much to the folks down there. You know, I was listening oh gosh, come on, what's his name? Glenn Beck. Listened to Glenn Beck this morning, and Glenn Beck said something that made 1,000,000% pure truth. $1 helps people. $1. Believe it or not. Add the dollars up, and that's how these folks are going to get out of the issues they've got. Thousands upon thousands of people down there don't even have flood insurance. They're losing everything. So if there's anything we can do from the North Country up here, this is our attempt to try to make it happen. Email me, bob.m@fishandstickstv.com. All I want you to do is tell me you're interested. I'll email you back, and we can converse on what you want to do and how we plan on putting it together over here on the Fish and Sticks end. This is really a big thing to me. It really is. I can see we got a few people online tonight. I would like you to do me a favor, folks. We've been off for about 15 days. Saeed's been working on our technology. We bought new equipment. We keep buying new equipment more and more all the time. And believe it or not, we got the system back up and running just today. Tonight I fired up, I put some of the new technology in, and guess what? It didn't work like I wanted it to, but that's all part of the learning curve, and that's what we're going to do. If you remember back on our last show, I told everybody, I want you to share the show. I want you, if you would, to go on and help us grow by sharing the show. A little later in this show, I'm going to explain how to do that. But in the meantime, I also made a promise that one lucky person that shared the show is going to have an opportunity at a free A-Team lure. That said, that said, a lot of people just liked the show and didn't share it. This time around, I took the people and I put you all in one big basket. So those who shared and liked are both in this single basket. Going forward, you have to show up on the shared list, and I'm going to show you how you go about doing that. But folks, this is what we're giving away tonight, right here. This is an absolute beautiful Avenger. Now, I have absolutely no problem in telling you this is one of my absolute go-tos. This is not a bait we can't sell. This is not a bait we can't give away. This is a bait that you're going to want in your boat, folks, right here. So, with that being said, Facebook is open right now. I want somebody, the first one that goes on Facebook and comments with a number between 1 and 25. That's 1 and 25. We're going to give this lure away to that person. Now, it's the first person who goes on and picks a number between 1 and 25. So, Facebook is open, we're up live, so go on out there, and while we do what we need to do, I want some numbers on there, folks. I want the first person to come up and tell me who's going to take this lure home tonight. It's that simple.
The summer sun never sets upon the Alaskan pike of the Unoko, in the heart of breathtaking Alaska. Evenings will be shared reliving the battles of Monster Pike. The Midnight Sun Trophy Pike Hunt is on, aboard the 67-foot luxury houseboat, and you're in command. If you're not, you should be. Contact the Midnight Sun Trophy Pike Adventures by calling 800-440-7453 or email them at mstpa50@gmail.com. Hi everyone, Bob Masacomer here for Grant Rods. You know, musky fishing's a tough deal, and the job's not done till she's in the bag. Well, how do you do that? It's pretty simple. You need big dog rods from Grant Rods. For your next rod, call them at 847-577-0848. Building custom rods since 1983.
Okay, Todd Dowell is the person who gave us the first number, and I think that number was 21. I got to open it up and look at all of them. They're coming in like crazy here. So that being said, we're going to give it out to that number. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, let's see. This didn't work like I thought it would. I am so sorry. We have so many numbers coming in here. I want to say it was 21. Todd, you know who you are. You're listening to the show. Kick me back another email and tell me if I'm correct at 21. I think it was number 21. When we get that rectified, we're going to pull that name off this list that I have here to present to you folks, and that person's going to get it. Now, while we're doing that, I want to take you back to what we were talking about just briefly, and that's the storms down south. A lot of us get turned off to the news. We don't pay attention to what's going on. So that being said, I want you to listen to what's happening down there. It's going to take about 5 minutes to go through this, but go through it and listen to some of the things they're doing, and then we're going to come back. We're going to give away that lure, and we're going to bring on our guest for tonight. I'm telling you, it's an amazing story.
A lot of money in the last 72 hours, thanks to a lot of people. One of the biggest fundraising goals was from J.J. Watt, who said he wanted to raise $200,000. How much did he raise?
$5 million.
So far.
Yeah, this is what J.J. Watt had to say. Actually, we'll get to that in just a little bit, but he was very excited to talk about $5 million already.
Right. And he's making a challenge to everybody else. What did you say before, Travis? We should get
99 million.
He's number 99. If we can get to 99 million. You know, I'm really not doubting that either, given J.J.'s star power, and he's got a lot of friends in Hollywood with him.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him on Twitter, see what I can work out there. But
see if Travis can help.
We've got a long road ahead of us, and there are still places that were dry yesterday that are going to start flooding today because of all the rain that has fallen and is trying to wind its way into the Gulf of Mexico. Most immediate concern right now is a flash flood emergency ongoing in Jefferson, Hardin, and Orange counties, and it is a dire situation in Orange County. Overnight, they've picked up another 20 inches of rain at least, and it is still raining there. Many people are waiting desperately to be rescued as water levels are quickly rising. So Harvey continues to ravage Texas on its way into Louisiana later on today. There's a very large aerial flood warning that's in effect, which basically means, hey, there's no more rain that's going to cause the water to rise, but there's still floodwaters out there. It's receding in many spots across Houston and Harris County. That's not true everywhere, but in many spots the water levels are receding, and then the rivers are also still raging down toward the Gulf. So we got a lot of flooding to talk about here in just a moment. I'll show you the new maps coming up here. Just hang with me through this weather update. So here we are looking at the circulation of Harvey. Made a second landfall this, or a third landfall really, another landfall this morning in Louisiana, and so that will continue to work its way northward. The rain bands spiraling around that appear to be aimed heaviest right now in far east Texas. So Orange has just been getting hammered all night long from Bridge City to Port Arthur. I just saw some estimated rainfall totals. Our rain gauge totals of over 50 inches of rain here. So we had another spot in southeast Texas picking up 50 inches of rain, and it is still raining. Another heavy little swath is coming in toward Beaumont. So travel is highly discouraged off to the east. If you had any plans to try to get into Louisiana today or even just into Beaumont, flash flood emergency is ongoing. The rain gets a lot lighter from Polk County to San Jacinto County to Liberty and Chambers counties, and then it's non-existent off to the west. I think we're going to be in for some nice sunshine later on this afternoon for many of us. That said, let's pull the graphics full screen again because I want to make sure people can see what I'm showing. This is Buffalo Bayou at Piney Point Village. This is downstream from the releases, some controlled, some uncontrolled, happening right now at the Barker and Addicks reservoirs. You can see we hit this really high record crest with the major rains that hit on early Saturday night, Sunday morning, and then it started to oscillate down, and now it is coming back up, rising 3 more feet by Saturday. And I know this is nerve-wracking for a lot of folks that are impacted by this. We're in uncharted territory, so things you may have heard last night may not be the same as what you're hearing this morning. In fact, just saw a tweet from Jeff Linder. I want to get this right. He says that water levels on Buffalo Bayou between Derry, Ashford, and San Felipe will rise 1 to 3 feet today. So if that water was getting close to homes yesterday downstream, it's likely flooding those homes this morning. We have seen the water levels recede rather quickly along Cypress Creek near I-45 where it crosses underneath there. We had the crest at 97 feet, which put I-45 underwater. Well, I-45 no longer has water on it, and soon water will recede out of all the homes that flooded as well. In fact, it'll fall another 5 feet over the next 24 hours. That's one of the creeks that feeds into the West Fork of the San Jacinto, which appears to have crested near Humble and is beginning to fall as well. But it got up to 69.1 feet. That's about 2 feet above the level during the record flood, the previous record flood in October of 1994. This one should be falling below major flood stage sometime on Monday. So homes are still going to be flooding here all the way through the weekend, and then we'll finally see the waters recede below that major threshold as we get into early next week. Here's a look at the East Fork of the San Jacinto River. It's been awful up there for those of you around New Caney and Splendora as well. We haven't forgotten about you. It's just hard to get to all these locations because there's so much floodwater out there. But you had a record crest earlier in the week of almost 80 feet, 79.99 feet. Can't get much closer than that. And it looks like it may be falling a little sharper than what's being indicated by the hydrographs. So that might be some good news there. The floodwaters might recede a little bit quicker, but I've gotten reports of horses that have drowned, homes underwater. It's just an awful situation up there as well, and that's also flowing into the San Jacinto River. By the way, it looks like Lake Houston has crested, so we're seeing that water level come down as well. So we're going to start seeing some improvements along the San Jacinto River watershed, but flooding is ongoing for the next few days. We'll just start to see that water slowly descend. Now, this is one that's very interesting here. This is the Colorado River at Wharton, where our reporter Deborah Wrigley is stationed. This is the highest crest, it will be the highest crest that anyone alive has seen in Wharton along the Colorado River. It's now launched past the previous modern time record, and it's just below the record level that was set in December of 1913 when it hit 51.9 feet. We're at 50.17 and climbing, expected to crest at 50.2. Hopefully that will crest, but look, it's a very long crest, and then it will drop off rapidly as we get later into the weekend. By the way, back in 1913, there was so much rainwater coming down, and this was before control measures like dams and river authorities were in place. That water just came flowing down from North Texas and Central Texas, so much so that the Colorado and the Brazos rivers merged south of I-10 with the San Bernard River as well, all the way into the Gulf of Mexico. So that's the flood of record on those watersheds, and we're getting close to challenging that. Hopefully, we will not see a repeat of what happened in 1913. San Bernard River at East Bernard, good news, the river has crested arrested. Bad news is you're still flooding. It looks like it'll fall 6 feet, though, in the next 24 hours. So we're starting to see the worst is coming to an end on the northern reaches of the San Bernard River. But downstream, you're already at record flood level here, about a foot above record flood level in Bowling. And you're expected to see that rise about 2 more feet in the next 24 hours. The record crest coming tomorrow, then a sharp drop off over the weekend. So we've got so many neighborhoods, towns, communities that are just going underwater with this massive amount of rain that Harvey has dropped in our part of the state. This is the Brazos River at Richmond. You're at 53.2 feet. The record from last year, 54.7. Expected to surpass that sometime later today. And then cresting Friday, still at that 57.5 foot threshold, about 3 feet above the record flood stage. Now, what we observed last year was that it took a lot, the river ended up going a lot higher than was expected, and it took a lot longer for that water to flow out. And the thinking was that perhaps there was a little bit of a bottleneck downstream because of all the levees that have been built. So patience on this one as well as we enter uncharted territory. We're not exactly sure what's going to happen, but that's our ballpark figure right now. And then there's the Brazos River near West Columbia. There's also some uncertainty here because just upstream from you, we had reports of a levee breach around Holiday Lakes. And so water's going to flow out of that levee breach. And then we are still expecting a rise, though, to 34.5 feet. And I'm told that when we get to 32.8 feet, just above this line right here, that homes in the Columbia, Mallard, and Great Lakes subdivisions begin flooding, and that's expected to occur tomorrow. So there's still time to get stuff to higher ground or get some valuables out and get your families out before you possibly can't get out for some time right there. Then we're going to hop over to the Trinity River at Liberty. This is downstream from Lake Livingston, where they've been doing record releases. This also beating the October 94 record of 31 feet. That's just above that right now, a hair above that, expected to climb about another foot. And it's going to be...
Well, folks, I think you get the drift of what's going on. Excuse the pun. These folks are way over their heads. Excuse the pun. There is water everywhere down there. And again, I can't tell you how we're going to do this. I can only tell you that I have the ability to collect credit card information. We'll compile it into a fund, and we'll get this money to one of these super people who know how to do this. Whether it's $5, $10, no matter what it is, dig into your pockets, call me tomorrow, or excuse me, no, don't. Please don't call me. Email me, bob.m@FishnStixTV. That email will be checked regularly. It's bob.m@FishnStixTV.com. And at that point, we will start collecting these funds, and we will get them down to these victims down there. Come on, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Let's do it up here. Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, New York. Let's do it. Let's pull some funds from the North Country and ship them down to them. All right. I told you that we would tell you who number 21 is. Now, Todd Dole did get back to me, and he goes, yay. Okay, now, that's because I think Todd might think that he was going to get a lure by doing that. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to disappoint anybody on this planet tonight. I am going to make another one of those lures. Todd, you're going to receive one. And number 21 on this list, you look at that list, folks, number 21. Number 21 is going to receive a free lure, the same lure I just held up, the same lure I made for Todd, or will make for Todd. So that being said, I want you to email me, and I don't want to wait 6 weeks to do it. Get a hold of me quickly, and we will get these lures out to you. Todd, you can expect one coming your way. And number 21 on that list is also going to, Steve is going to also receive a free A-Team lure. Now, let's do something here real quick, okay? This is critical because in order for people to understand what we're doing and what we're trying to do, it's a matter of growing. All right, when I say go to the Facebook page, here it is. I got the Facebook page open. And by the way, congrats, folks. 4,891 people reached. That's on Facebook alone. And almost 2.7 thousand views of this show that we just put up, the most recent show. When you take the aggregates all together, we eclipsed 6,000. So that being said, I really want to say thank you, but this is how we're going to grow. Now, see my little arrow here? See it? All right, we're looking at the show. This is the show. This would be airing, just like when you come on. The video is going to be rolling. So there's our countdown, okay? Go down below. You'll see this little panel here that says share. It's right here. I want you to click that share button right there. Click it. When you click it, a drop-down menu is going to place. When that drop-down menu comes up, you'll be able to share it to the universe, or you'll be able to share it to a page. Either one of those will get you in the share list. So let's say we want to share it to a page. If you share it to a page, you can share it to pages you manage. So you have lots of diversity and you want to share that to all the pages that you manage. That would be so kind. Or you can go over and share it to groups, or you can share it to friends. This is critical right here. Share on a friend's timeline. The more people that take a few minutes, click these buttons, and share the videos, the amount of growth will be astronomical. Totally astronomical. It's what we're asking you to do. It's what we want you to do. If you will do it, please do it. I'm going to cancel this out real quick. And I'm going to show you something real quick because it's relative to the guests we're going to bring in. On August 21st this year, there was an event that took place that obviously everybody on the planet was watching it. And we know it as the solar eclipse, okay? My guest on tonight's show, I've got her up and hot right now. Rena, are you with me?
I'm with you.
I got her. Rena Goldberg's with me. This is the day. This is the event that they were fishing under, folks. This is, I mean, these people are magic to start with. But Rena and Kevin called me. They called me in the morning and they said, we've got a couple of things we want to ask you. Now, that being said, I'm going to hold Rena through the next commercial break. We're going to watch this eclipse, and Rena's going to get prepared to tell us her story about what took place because it's so crazy. And then I'm going to show you what the successes they had. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So don't go anywhere. It's eclipse fishing. It's a story with Rena Goldberg right now. Bring her back. Hold tight. Hi everyone, Bob Mason's over here. You know, I've got a place, a very, very special place in my heart. It's Osborne Bay.
It's been excellent. Randy did a great job guiding service.
Randy started taking us out when I was 10, and we've been catching big muskies ever since.
Accommodations here are fantastic.
Check out Century Lodge on Osborne Bay. Come on, bring her back. Ooh, look at that. Oh, big fish. Big fish.
This side over here?
That is a 50 fish. Folks, you're seeing it right now. My 100 just came in the net at Witch Bay Camp. Holy smokes, Rocky. She ate that thing. Good evening, Rena. Your mic is hot. How are you doing?
Great, Bob. How's it going up there?
It's going really good. It really is. I'm pretty spectacularly happy right now because after working on all this technology, Saeed got it running for us. He's really good with this stuff, even though he's not quite as fast as I'd like people to be. But he does a good job. Computer Mega Mall over in Minneapolis, that's Saeed. He does a really nice job on the technology that we have. Okay. How do you want to do this? You want to tell your side of the story? How do you want to do this? It's your story.
Okay. Let's see. Which day was it that I called you? Was it Monday?
You called me on, I think you said the eclipse day. I'm not sure. I think it was Tuesday.
On Monday.
Monday.
Oh, Monday.
Okay.
So on Sunday we were out fishing all day. We put a lot of hours in on the water. Imagine that. I saw probably about 15 fish Sunday on topwater. So I'm throwing topwater all day because we have not had a big fish on topwater yet. So throwing my top water all day, and saw about 15 fish, which is the most fish I have ever seen. But they were not hitting. I'd say maybe 5 out of the 15 were hot or turned hot at the boat, but all the other ones were coming in just lazy, just following low. So I wouldn't really see them till they almost got to the boat, and then they would just either sink down or just kind of swim away. I think I had one actually kind of chill by the boat, and I was frustrated because it was the most fish I'd ever seen, and I couldn't get. And I was slowing my lure down. I was speeding it up. I was just trying anything and everything to try to get them to hit. So that's when I called you the next morning, and because you remember, you're the one that taught me how to work a jackpot.
No. Don't blame that on me.
Oh, no. Well, we don't throw top water at home.
I know.
Which I might try to start doing. So you're the one that taught me how to work that jackpot and, that slack in the line, all that jazz. But so when I called you, I was hoping you can give me some insider secrets to get them to eat. But you said if you want to take over now?
No, go ahead. You're doing just fine.
Okay. Well, you told me, you asked me a couple of questions about, how the fish were reacting and stuff like that. But pretty much what I got from most of it is when they're ready to eat, they're going to eat. So there wasn't too much I could have done differently to make them eat. I'm trying to think, did you say anything else?
Well, you're right.
I just remember that tidbit.
Yeah, you're right. There was a lot more to it than just that tidbit. You guys were talking about the very first question I asked you was, what was your water temp? And I think Kevin in the background was feeding you the information, and your water temperature was pretty cool. It was like 65 degrees. So that's very chilly for this fish.
We had a huge high pressure cold front come in. Yeah, it was pretty bad. We were in shorts and flip flops our first 2 days, and then I never took my bibs off after that.
And I think if you'll remember what I said in those kind of situations, you need to stay attentive. You need to keep your confidence level up because the fish is retarded. Everybody's used to, when we think about August periods, we think about summer peak. We don't think that it's cooling off, and it is cooling. And the fish that you may want to campaign at every 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 hours, that fish is lackadaisical now. She's down eating every 20 to 30 hours. So it's a bigger window between the time you will encounter the fish and the time the fish is actually going to eat. So you need to pay attention to it. And there were some other things that I told you that I think were important too. But before we get to that part, there's another thing I want to say. You're married to a very good muskie fisherman. He's a good fisherman, period. And Kevin, just in listening to the conversation, Kevin was in one of the boats, excuse the pun, that most of us guys, husbands, find ourselves in. And that is trying to explain to the spouse what to do. And that's because we cohabit together, so therefore it's not important information. But when I talked to you, you were listening. You listened to every word I was saying. And I told you that the fish is going to give you opportunity, but you have to be ready for that opportunity. You can't force feed them. They're going to do it. They're going to come up and do it. And you guys were throwing small blades, and I told you I thought, in my opinion, I would switch out. I'd go to big blades, slow the presentation down, make your boat travel slow down, make the way you're fishing the water slower, literally comb it better. And you mentioned top water, and I says to you, Rena, in this water temperature, if there's a lure that you're going to catch these fish on, either the attack dog or the giant jackpot is as good as they get. Remember that?
Yes.
All right, you keep talking because I've got some images here that I want to put up for people who are listening to this conversation. These fish are post-conversation, as I understand it. And if I'm wrong, don't correct me. It's not going to make me look good. But the truth of the matter is you guys came away after taking a little bit of time, slowing things down. You guys came away with a boatload of fish, a serious boatload. Now, we were also talking that you were expecting clear skies to come in on top of you, clearer weather, warming trends.
Right.
Well, anytime this happens, the water temperature will warm up and the fish will elevate in the water column. They'll come up much, much higher in the column, and you'll have an opportunity at these fish. They will actually start to metabolize as they warm up. A fish's body, when it's high in the water column, absorbing the sunlight, can be as much as a half a degree warmer than the surrounding water. And that's important to understand, because that means that fish will gravitate to that warming trend very quickly. They don't miss a lick. They know what they're doing, and they'll crawl up there. And with that being said, I thought I told you in the conversation that be prepared. Be ready to fish low light. Be ready to fish the last part of the day. Take full advantage of that warming trend. And I think that's what I said. You could correct me.
No, you're right. That's what you said. You're correct.
Yeah, and look at this brute that she put in the boat, guys. Look at this thing. Oh my goodness. You know, Rena, you got a smile that'll light up a room, period.
Thank you.
I'm serious as a heart attack. I've had the opportunity to share the boat with you and Kevin. You're absolutely great people, and you just radiate when things go right. I'm not going to comment when things go wrong. And the guy you're living with, well, he kind of radiates too when he gets it done. So let's back up really quick to the fish I want to show people. There's something that I wanted to point out, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to bring Rena on the show tonight, to talk a little bit about how the confounded side of the sport can provoke questions. Questions obviously give answers if you're paying attention to what's going on, the science, the biology, it's all in check, and you can learn a great deal from it. But here's something, and I'm not saying this because I didn't know it. I'm not saying it because I wasn't quick enough to think about it when I was talking to you. When you have 65-degree water, do you have any idea what 65-degree water is?
It's cold.
It's cold, but it's more than cold. It is perfect for that fish, for the northern pike. It's perfect. You're right there at the pinnacle of that fish's comfort zone. Now, the one I'm going to show is the one you know. It's you in your green jacket. I'm going to show them your hybrid. Okay? The hybrid, which in my opinion is God's perfect image on a muskie. It's the most beautiful creature in fresh water. When you're fishing waters that have hybrids in them, okay, especially as big as this one, these fish are literally at the peak of their activity range from about 65 to about 70 degrees. The hybrid is. It tends to be much more like a northern pike in terms of its comfort levels. It's a predator, much more like a muskie, but it's more of a ferocious feeder like the pike. So let's hear blow by blow how you caught this hybrid.
Okay, so we were in a new bay. It was in the morning still, but it was just, it was rainy. It had been rainy. It was the first time it kind of cleared up, and I didn't actually have my jacket on, I don't think. I don't think I even had it on the picture. But we were fishing this little spot here with some weeds, and I'm still throwing the attack dog because I'm bound and determined to get a big ski on it. So I threw it out, and I was bringing it close to the boat, and I noticed a little flash. And I knew it was too fast, and it was little, and I knew it was a pike. I'm like, oh, it was a little pike. So I'm like, okay, but for some reason, I don't know why. So we're in a rental boat up there at Cedar, and I'm actually on the back of the boat because Kevin's on the front with the troll motor, and I'm on the back of the boat, and I'm straddling the fish finder. So I'm on like the little ledge, and for some reason I decided to turn and toss back behind the boat, literally straight behind the boat, because I saw we were going over some weeds. So I threw back behind the boat, bringing it in, and probably, oh gosh, not even 5 feet from the boat, all of a sudden I do one little jerk, explosion. I don't know if people, I'm sure a lot of people watch Shark Week, but all I thought about was Seal Island and the great white shark coming straight from the bottom, because I did not see this fish following. It did not come from the side. You know, sometimes they torpedo attack from the side. It came like directly below and inhaled. So it came up and inhaled the bait. Seriously, I don't think I can say the size yet because I think Al has a little contest going, but it was almost eye to eye with me. I swear it winked at me, took that bait, dropped down to the water, and Kevin goes, "Is it a ski? Is it a ski?" Because we had caught some. I just had said I saw that pike. So, is it a ski? Is it a ski? I'm like, yeah, it's a ski. And then as soon as it like hit the water and I saw like its belly and face, I'm like, it's a tiger. So it was like panic mode from there because I'd never caught a tiger before. I don't think I've been in a boat when we've caught a tiger. So it was like full, like crazy 3-ring circus, and it fought so good. It's that pike fight because, you know, we've caught a lot of pike. We go way up north for pike fishing, and the pike, they hit so hard and just go, you know, whereas the muskie will hit and then it just head shakes. So it just hit and it took that bait, and it was a good fight. I went around the boat with it once, and then finally Kevin netted it, you know, because we had to get it into the net. And as soon as I saw it roll in that net, I'm like, oh my God, because it was a tiger. I knew it was a tiger, and it was a big one. And but it was funny. I said, you know, I think if we didn't even have our GoPros on us, but I'm sure if we did have them running, I think I said just not too long after that, I'm like, Bob was right. When it eats, it's going to eat. And it did. It just inhaled it. So it was pretty phenomenal. Got some good pictures, and it was nice because the weather worked out. And I swear it was probably 5 minutes after that we were back in like our rain gear, drizzly. But it did start warming up that day. So it's almost like like you were saying, with that, you know, that hybrid, that cold water, because we were catching the pike, and then that hybrid caught, and then I don't know if you showed all the other pictures, but, you know, then we got some more muskies in the boat after that because it warmed up a little bit. So,
girl, you guys,
yeah, that's my little tiger.
Not a little tiger. I'm sorry, it's way bigger than a little tiger. You guys absolutely tonned them. So that being said, I guess I certainly want to say a few things in closing your story off, and that's one is you need to still pay attention. When you get those moments where the fish just aren't responding, sometimes paying attention to that little glimmer of light. You know, that fish you thought was a pike that slid away could have easily been that hybrid you caught, very easily. And a lot of times people don't pay attention. You get lackadaisical yourself because you're just not seeing what you're looking for. Another thing is confidence. You have to keep your confidence. You can't, you're a musky fisher lady. He's a musky fisherman. You guys know that these fish don't come every cast. And you guys know that pure boredom can turn into pandemonium in one turn of a reel handle. And
exactly.
That's the mystique that musky fishermen chase, and that's why I wanted your story. Your story is so valuable, it's so inspirational, and it should lend itself credit to guys getting their gals out in the boats and sharing these experiences and opportunities with. Did you give him a big hug when you were done?
I think I gave him a smooch. We typically smooch after fish. I think we even did that fishing with you.
Well, you have a big disadvantage because I'm showing the audience right now your smooch. Kevin's probably watching this live, so he's going to chuckle out loud when he sees this.
Oh, no.
But yeah, you guys had a little bit to celebrate, and that's what musky fishing is all about. It's certainly what we try to do. And there are my really two dear friends from Youngstown, Ohio, Kevin and Rena Goldberg. And, you know, guys, I couldn't be any more proud knowing people like you. I just couldn't. I've had the opportunity to share the boat with you. I've had the opportunity to converse with you. And I say this in pure humbleness, if you will. When people call and say, how can I do this? It's not working for me. If I've got the time to talk, if I'm not in a business meeting or if I'm not tied up and I have the time to talk, those are some of my most cherished moments, because it makes me think. When I told you this in the conversation, I'm going to only tell you what I can predict. I can't see what you're doing. I can't see your water.
Right.
I can't see your elements. I can't see your sky. There's too many variables that I can't see. But based on what you're telling me, this is what I think I would do. And this is how I filter out systems when I go shoot shows. You know, people don't realize that we have 4 or 5 days to get it done. So when you go in to shoot a show and you have 4 to 5 days to get it done, and you get hit like you did with an inclement weather pattern on the beginning of your outing, you have to stay. You have to stay in the game mentally. Stay in the game. So when it does turn around, and it will, you can take advantage.
Exactly.
Can
I give a shout out?
Oh, you certainly can.
I got to give a shout out to my hubby there, Kev. I don't know if our friends know, but I'd never fished before I met Kevin. So I think it helps that I always tell people that too. You know, I never fished before, but I think if you have a little bit of a competitive nature in you, or if you were in athletics before, musky fishing is it. Because I'm so competitive with Kevin. Because even after that fish, I'm like, okay, I think we're tied 2 for 2. Okay, and then if I caught the next one, I'm like, all right, I'm up one on him. You know, he's up on me. He ended up being up on me on the week. But that little the musky fishing is such a fun competitive sport, even with yourself. Getting through that confidence, like, oh my gosh, I haven't even seen a fish, or oh my God, I just saw so many fish. Why aren't they eating? And then, you know, what can I do different next time? And Kevin does such a great job in the boat, even though we frustrate each other sometimes because he's telling me what to do. But I listen because he's it. He's a musky fisherman that's just, you know, he's a phenomenal and so passionate about what he does, kind of like how you are too. I mean, that's why we called you to pick your brain a little bit. So I can only pick Kevin's brain so much, so I had to resort to picking your brain a little bit too. So
you know,
thank you.
I had to go to the hospital after you got done, though.
What?
Yeah, there was no brain left.
Oh, we didn't pick it that much.
You guys are class acts. Listen, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Tell Kevin if he doesn't get those eastern musky fishermen lined up so we can bring some of that knowledge to the western rim of the musky fishery, that I'm going to have to fly out to Ohio and he's not going to like it.
Oh, okay. You're always welcome here, Bob. You're always welcome here.
All righty. Hey, listen, thank you very, very much for coming on the show, and God bless both of you, and I am so proud of you. I'm so happy you guys pulled it off. It's what musky fishing is all about. Thank you again.
It is. Thank you, Bob.
All righty. Bye-bye. Oh, that being said, folks, I want to say it one more time before we get out of here. We're doing the Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund. I will be checking emails tomorrow. Just drop me an email and just say I want to be involved. I want to donate, and I will get back in touch with you, and we'll do it via phone so we're not transferring any information over the internet that shouldn't be heard. I think it's our job. I really do. I'm just amazed. I really am. And I feel so sorry for the people that are down there right now, that God knows they're losing everything, and it's mind-boggling. It really is. Man, oh man. I'm going to run through one more time for you, if you don't mind, the people who make our show possible. Again, I want you to remember that we want you to share the show, share it with your friends, share it with your groups. I showed you how to do it here on tonight's show. The more we share, the more we grow. We eclipsed 6,000 last week. I'm just flabbergasted. Folks, here's the people that pay the bills. There, on your left, you can almost see it. One of the most magnificent sights on the planet. Lake Athabasca nestled just below the 60th parallel.
Lake Athabasca hasn't changed in nearly 1,000 years with its pristine shorelines, pure crystal clear water you can actually drink, and countless fish. Boy, has she got fish that is for everyone willing to travel to Otherside River Lodge. From the magnificent world-class northern pike that prowl these waters to the oldest and biggest lakers on the globe, Athabasca has it all. Otherside River Lodge caters to the true sportsman seeking an all-American plan guided package with 3 incredible meals a day and memories you won't find anywhere else. Records have been broken by guests at Otherside River Lodge in the past. You could be next. Book your dream trip of a lifetime to Otherside River Lodge, where fishing dreams do come true. Call Cliff or Stella toll-free at 1-877-922-0957.
Hi everyone, Bob Nasacomer here for Grant Rods. You know, muskie fishing's a tough deal, and the job's not done till she's in the bag. Well, how do you do that? It's pretty simple. You need big dog rods from Grant Rods. For your next rod, call them at 847-577-0848. Building custom rods since 1983. The summer sun never sets upon the Alaskan pike of the Unoko, in the heart of breathtaking Alaska. Evenings will be shared reliving the battles of monster pike. The Midnight Sun Trophy Pike Hunt is on, aboard the 67-foot luxury houseboat, and you're in command. If you're not, you should be. Contact the Midnight Sun Trophy Pike Adventures by calling 800-440-7453 or email them at mstpa50@gmail.com.
Bring her back. Oh, just a minute. Hold tight. Hi everyone, Bob Mason over here. You know, I've got a place, a very, very special place in my heart. It's Osborne Bay.
It's been excellent. Randy did a great job guiding service.
Randy started taking us out when I was 10, and we've been catching big muskies ever
The
since.
accommodations here are fantastic.
Check out Century Lodge on Osborne Bay. Come on, bring her back.
Oh, look at that. Oh, big fish. Big fish.
This side over here?
That is a 50 fish. Folks, you're seeing it right now. My 100th just came in the net at Witch Bay Camp. Holy smokes, Rocky. She ate that thing.
Hey folks, we're not getting out of here without a piece of really, really, really big news. I played the Jim Grant commercial for you. Jim Grant builds the big dog rods, and the only rods I've got in my boat. And I'm telling you right now, the rods are unbelievable. Jim Grant has watched the show tonight, and as a result of watching the show and the Hurricane Harvey relief fund that we're putting together, Jim Grant has donated a $450 muskie rod to the highest bidder. You understand that, folks? A $450 muskie rod to the highest bidder. All donations will go to the relief. Folks, that's what I say when I say we have great people around us, we have great people who support us, and we have great people who watch the show every week. I just, quite frankly, I am amazed. I am just amazed. That being said, this is Bob Masacomer for Fish and Sticks. God bless everybody. We'll see you next week for the next edition of Fish and Sticks TV.